Happy Monday. New questions about the mainstream media taking sides in the 2016 race. Critics are accusing last night's debate moderators of being in the tank for Hillary Clinton and targeting Donald Trump. During one exchange, ABC's Martha Raddatz corrected Trump during a question on Syria and even argued with him at one point. Trump himself raised the issue of bias during the debate, saying he was interrupted more than Hillary Clinton. Watch.
She campaigned where the primary part of her campaign.
I want to get to audience questions and online questions.
So she's allowed to do that, but I'm not allowed to respond.
You're going to get to respond right now.
That sounds fair.
Well, we turned over 35,000, so it was.
What about the other 15,000?
Please allow her to respond. She didn't talk while you talked.
Hillary Clinton wants to allow.
And why did it morph into that? No, answer the question. Do you still believe?
You
I
interrupt
do.
me all the time. Why don't you interrupt her?
Would you please?
Going to be able to. You're going to have plans.
What does that mean?
Well, I'll tell you what it means. Well, I just want
There's been lots of fact-checking on that. I'd like to move on to an online question.
She just went about 25 seconds over her time.
She
Could
did
I just
not.
respond to this, please? I'd like to know, Anderson, why aren't you bringing up the emails? I'd like to know. Why aren't you
We
getting
brought up
to
the
bottom?
emails.
No, it hasn't.
Ken Carpowitz has a question.
It's nice to 1-on-3.
You're saying all shades of awkwardness. Okay, just a couple of facts before we delve in. Moderators, according to reports, attempted to interrupt 41 times. 26 of those, perhaps more than often, were Donald Trump. 26 minutes in, only one audience question. Most of it was about the tape and such off the top, which you had mentioned. 33 minutes, 5 seconds went to Clinton. 40 minutes, 10 seconds went to Trump. Your thoughts?
Well, I thought the moderators were okay. I mean, I've worked with Martha Raddatz at WCVB in Boston. I know her pretty well. She made one mistake, and that was arguing about Syria with Trump, because she knows that area very well, and she's very passionate about it, and she believes, and I know this to be true, that Trump doesn't know anything about it. Okay. Now, whether that is a valid assessment, I don't know, because I don't know how much Trump knows about Syria. However, that was a mistake. If you're a moderator, you don't argue. I mean, that's Hillary Clinton's job to argue, not your job.
Right.
But otherwise, I think when they heard repetition, as somebody who's done this before, when you hear repetition, you go in and say, okay, look, we heard that. All right, let's get to another question or get in the thing. So, I mean, do Anderson Cooper and Martha Raddatz, are they going to vote for Donald Trump? Never on this earth. All right. So we all know that. All right. So, yeah, he's right. It's 1 against 3. But I didn't think they were aggressively promoting Hillary Clinton. I didn't think they were doing that.
Well, I will say this for Anderson Cooper very early on. Remember, he said he wasn't voting at all because he felt like this election, and I don't know if he's going to keep to that. No handshake off the top. And a lot of comments online, Kennedy, about Donald Trump walking the stage and kind of I don't know, it's a town hall. You're allowed to do that.
You're allowed to do that, but it's also, I mean, that in itself is a very subtle dance, trying to figure out where to position your body without looking like you're stalking your opponent.
Or looking
and there were
awkward.
times where they framed him up with the camera, and the shots just looked weird because he was, sort of ominously, it looked like leering behind her. But I agree with Kyle Smith in the New York Post this morning, which was the moderators inserted themselves to become the stars of the show. Yeah. And this is a debate forum where you have 38 people on stage, like Kenneth Bone, who had questions to ask of these candidates, and they actually did a better job of framing the questions so the candidates could answer them with a little less hostility.
Too bad they didn't start to get to those questions until 26 minutes in.
And by the way, it was 45 minutes in before there was any mention of what we just talked about in the last block of those leaked Wall Street speech excerpts. I found that to be amazing. That was sort of the lead story for everybody that day as far as what's happening with the Hillary Clinton camp. Are you going to say something?
I am, because you moderated a debate. So I want to ask you, do you think we've gotten to the point where Donald Trump is right when
follow-up questions should be used only when absolutely necessary, in my opinion. And you feel that out as a moderator, that's your job as a moderator. But just exactly what you just said, Bill, Newt Gingrich, he's an advisor to Trump, former Speaker of the House, he said, why is Raddatz debating Trump? Isn't that Hillary's job? All they had to do was let Hillary respond. If he wasn't going where he was supposed to or wasn't answering a question, that is how a debate is set up. Obviously, it's a different format, a town hall format, but it was set up that she could have challenged him.
Is that sexist, that they're trying to rescue her from him that,
I'll let
somehow.
you answer that.
Yes, yeah.
Well, so no, but what Donald Trump has said is that he thinks it's time that we don't have moderators at all and that they just stand up there and be themselves. I don't know how you could do that in a 90-minute format, though, because what happens when you get to the 91st minute and they haven't stopped talking?
Would not trust these two hairs to police themselves in a moderator list.
No, they need a moderator because we don't want a brawl up there. I mean, you know.
They need Chris Wallace, and by gum, they're going to get him. October 19th in Las Vegas.
One of the other big takeaways from last night, Donald Trump admitting he did not pay federal taxes for years, income taxes. But how about the way he tried to turn the issue to his advantage? Did it work? Stay with us.